Everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, one people. We are roll up to roll up, cause no man's alone. Do what's right, cause I love you. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Good morning, welcome to a brand new week and a brand new edition of Frank and Candid. I am Tony Nias, glad to have you. Hope you had a great weekend and you're all refreshed and ready for a productive week. Alright, we begin as per usual. We go into Antigua and Barbuda. National hero and former Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Lester Bird, died at 6 a.m. today, Monday, 9th August 2021. Bird served as his country's Prime Minister from 1994 to 2004 after succeeding his father, Vere Bird Sr. Bird, who was born on the 21st of February 1938 in New York, USA, was 83 years old. Flags have been ordered to be flown at half-mast. Okay, and from out of the UK, a story out of the UK which I mentioned on Friday, following up on here, about mass deportations scheduled for this week, a couple of days. I want to touch on that and get your thoughts on that. Mass deportation, mass deportation flights, a signature of Prime Minister Boris Johnson's immigration and nationality tactic. They are essential, performative, cruel, arbitrary, and double punishment, and they're also expensive. Since becoming Prime Minister in 2019, Boris Johnson has spent no less than £4.7 million on these flights. The money has paid for 23 charter flights to remove 548 people, including pregnant women and children. And the latest mass deportation will be, as I said, in a couple of days on August 11th. It will be taking the detainees to Jamaica. The destination of the flight is worth noting for two reasons. The Home Office's own data reveals that people from Jamaica are disproportionately targeted for deportation from the UK if they commit crimes, especially. Notably, the Home Office fought for a whole year to keep this data secret. It refused the original Freedom of Information request and only made the data available when the Information Commissioner's Office ruled against it. But the other reason why a mass deportation flight to Jamaica is worth taking note of is that it will be the fourth such flight to Jamaica since the Windrush scandal. It is as if the Tories have learned nothing since deporting so many Commonwealth migrants who were actually legally entitled to be in the UK. The cruelty of these flights lies partly in the fact that they are often ripping people away from the only country that they can remember, and sometimes tearing families apart. Some of the people that the Home Office wants to deport arrived in Britain when they were babies, just 3 months old. They have known no other country but Britain. These particular deportations are despite the fact that the Jamaican High Commission thought that they had an agreement with the Home Office that they would not deport anyone who was brought to the country when they were younger than 12. So much for that agreement. All of the prospective deportees are long-term British residents. None of the prospective deportees have lived in the country for less than 19 years. Most of the people that it is planning to deport from there have lived in the UK for the greater part of their adult lives. Naturally, they have wide and deep personal ties to the country. If this deportation flight goes ahead, at least 23 British children will lose their fathers. The Home Office's justification for these flights is that the people being deported are all dangerous criminals. It is true that they have, in some cases, have broken the law, but most have been convicted for non-violent drug offenses, and 4 got deportation orders for their first and only offense. They have all actually served the sentence for their crime. The deportation then can be considered, or is by way of being in a double jeopardy. It is an arbitrary sentence that the British state is able to impose in practice because the deportees are not white. As August 11th approaches, some of the detainees have sought legal help, and some have been fortunate to have their deportation cancelled or postponed. And this is often the way with these mass deportation flights. It's a racist dragnet cast over a particular community. In this case, it is the Jamaican community. People are scraped up to be deported willy-nilly. However, if they are fortunate enough to get representation, legal representation, someone to make their case, they can ultimately be taken off the flight. But nobody should be subjected to this arbitrary cruelty. There needs to be some moratorium on these mass deportation flights. The government should not be playing with people's lives. It is all just to show the press how tough the Tories can be on immigration, even if the outcome is cruel and unfair. Something for us to think about and talk about. I also want to touch on some events that's been creeping up and around the region here, and it's all related to COVID and vaccines and vaccinations. Over the last week or so, protests have erupted across the region. Citizens protesting mandatory vaccination wherever such policy exists or are being contemplated. In Barbados. Hundreds of Barbadians took to the streets of Bridgetown some time ago to protest mandatory and coerced vaccination. They shouted, "No vaccine," while they carried placards, most of them dressed in white, and saying, "We have rights," some others said, as the motorists honked their horns in support. Then if we go to St. Vincent, Ralph Gonsalves, Prime Minister there, was hospitalized after a demonstrator threw a rock at his head during an anti-vaccine protest led by nurses and other workers. And now, just yesterday, protest fever over concerns about mandatory vaccination against COVID-19 has spread to Antigua and Barbuda. Citizens heeded the call from a group called Freedom Fighters for Antigua and Barbuda to protest about several issues, including no to jab IDs, mandatory jabs, state of emergency, curfew, and masks. A group converged Sunday afternoon on Market Street chanting, "No vaccine," and "No vaccine for children." So there you have it. It's creeping across the Caribbean, wherever there is or even a thought of vaccine or mandatory vaccination. Now, I just want to touch on a few things here with respect to that, because my concern is with regards to where this whole vaccination issue has reached and what it has come to. I, for the life of me, cannot understand, and I try to be a person that is understanding as much as I can, bend over backwards to understand a lot of things, but I just can't for the life of me understand how this vaccination issue became political. I don't believe that anything that is health related should have any place in the political realm, but so far it has. I mean, and I not just think it's in the US, it's across the region. I really don't understand it, but that's where we are. But as we talk about that, let me just give you my position here on vaccination. First of all, to be clear and to be upfront, I am fully vaccinated. That's a decision I have made using the information I have gathered and making my own deliberate judgment. I am fully vaccinated, and I am in support, in full support of people getting vaccinated, and I will encourage people to do so. I will persuade people to do so. I also support the freedom of choice for the individual or any business in this country or any country to make choices. Of course, I would hope, from my standpoint, that they make the choice to be vaccinated, be that for some personal interest, because I honestly feel that the more people are vaccinated, the safer I will feel in my community of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so I will be happy if everybody were vaccinated, or even most of the people were vaccinated. But that is not going to happen. Some people are going to make other choices using the information they have, and they're free to do that, and I accept that. At the same time, as I say that I support people being vaccinated, and I also support the freedom of the choice of those who do not. I wish they would, but I support their choice for whatever their reasons are not to. And believe me, people have good, reasonable reasons not to. I support that. I support businesses to make choice. I do not, and let me make it clear, I do not, as a person, support government mandating that an individual give up that right not to be vaccinated. Or I do not support government mandating that a business give up their right not to employ an individual as they see fit. I believe in everybody having their free choice when it comes to that, even though I know that being vaccinated helps all of us, helps me personally, and as a personal interest matter, I will be glad if everybody is. Even though I'm on that side, I also am not on the side of mandating it. Right? People can make that choice. It's up to them. That's where I stand. There's a lot of information out there as to why I believe people should be vaccinated. As we sit today, the vaccine, especially the Delta variant, is rampant across the United States, St. Martin, the Virgin Islands, Antigua, and whether you believe it or not, it's just a matter of time before it hits St. Kitts and Nevis. And the Delta variant is not playing, based on what we've been seeing. There's a report out of the US as they struggle through this Delta variant, which talks about how 99% of the COVID deaths are now of unvaccinated people. Now, if I see information like that, I will use it in a certain way. You're free to use it how you see fit. But if the Delta variant or COVID, as rampant as it is, and causing deaths, and the information tells me that 99% of the deaths are unvaccinated, I know what my choice will be. Experts say with the Delta variant running rampant in the US, cases are on the rise, and what they're now calling a pandemic of the unvaccinated. It's gone to the CDC. That's how the CDC puts it. COVID cases, hospitalization, and deaths are rising again as the extremely contagious Delta variant of the coronavirus takes hold as the dominant strain in the US. In some parts of that country, there are more hospitalization and cases of COVID than there were last winter when we were at the peak of the pandemic. And the vast majority of people being hospitalized with COVID and dying from the disease have not been fully vaccinated. That's according to the public health officials. More than 97% of hospitalizations from COVID right now are of unvaccinated people. It's according to Dr. Rochelle Walensky, director of the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. She says, quote, "There is a clear message that is coming through. This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated." In early July, Dr. Fauci, the president's chief medical advisor, told CBS News that 99.2% of COVID deaths are now of unvaccinated people. That is a number that people who are looking for information and people who are using information to make decisions, that's a number you should think about. Still have the choice to make, and you can make it however you see fit, but that number is an important piece of data that that should be useful in any decision making. That's my take. 465-2555 is the local number. 718-577-2916 is the overseas number. If that's better for you, feel free, give me a call, talk about any of those two matters I raised this morning. Get your take, whatever your take may be. We will take a break. When we come back, those are the numbers to use. Join me here in conversation on those matters.
It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Forever resilient and strong.
Island Resilience, promoting a climate of change. The Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainable Land Management Initiative of the OECS Commission, funded by the European Union.
All right, welcome back to Frank and Candid on this Monday morning. Before we go to the phones, let me quickly alert you, if you're not so alerted as yet, there are 3 weather systems that we're taking a look at out in the Atlantic. Prepare yourself. We don't know what they can be. They can change at any moment, and so we expect as we go through the week to that they will get closer to us. So prepare yourself for what can be. Also, there's some video coming out of Antigua from yesterday's protests. Videos don't really look good at all on when it comes to the activity there, the response to it, and all of that. So that's it. Let's go to the phones. Say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Okay, let's try the next one. Good morning. Okay, lost that caller. All right, 465-2555. 718-577-2916 from North America. Let's go to the phones again. Good morning, welcome.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Masai Garvin, Queen and Zinga. Blessed them, my beloved African brother. How are you, the family?
We're all doing well. How about you?
Well, but I'm not feeling too good, man, after what I saw yesterday in the land of I love, beloved, just as much as St. Kitts Nevis. And in this place, Antigua Barbuda. Beloved, I show you sad a video. Beloved, I know you saw the video. Beloved, it was a peaceful demonstration, beloved. Place called Heritage Key, down by Vissy Bird Senior Bus, beloved. They didn't reach up on Market Street. Then then these savage beasts masquerading as police. That's not an indictment of all police, because they got some good police, men and women, beloved. But this was deliberate, and I'm going to tell you why, and you could check it for yourself. Freedom fighters of Antigua and Barbuda, they applied for a permit over 17 days, and the commissioner, police in Antigua, you waited until Saturday. No, but let me back up. Gaston Brown said they ain't getting no permit. Right? That was about a week ago. Come Saturday, day before, the protest commissioner deny the application, beloved brother, the permit. You want to tell me, under the Constitution Antigua and Barbuda, and I'm sure that's the same in St. Kitts Nevis, brother, if the commissioner of police deny you permit to some demonstration, you could appeal to your attorney general and so on and so forth. Where you going to find any place open on Sunday, beloved? Any government office is open on Sunday. It was deliberate, beloved, and this ain't no political group. Freedom fighters of Antigua and Barbuda ain't affiliated with no political parties, beloved. You know, and brother, you know what hurt me? These people who look like me and you, man. These savage beasts that look like me and you. Tear gas. Children, pregnant women, old people had to run. Pregnant woman had to run. I saw, and you saw the video too, a brother who could be my great-grandchild. He can't be no man about 8 years old. He was sprinting like Usain Bolt in his glory days. Beloved, this nonsense got to stop. Beloved, and let me say, if this ever happened in St. Kitts Nevis, brother, under this administration, ain't no way in hell I could continue to support the Team Unity administration, brother. Can't. Man, it's just ridiculous, the things that we don't do to each other. I mean, brother, if it was some kind like a quote-unquote rioting, police had a right to keep law and order. I have no problem with that. But there was no hooliganism, and they tear gas the people, shoot rubber bullets, beloved. You saw the rubber bullets too, beloved. And they even use live ammunition to people get shot, beloved. And you could check that out for yourself. They went down in Grace Farm and Green Bay last night, shooting tear gas, beloved. People had to run out of their homes, man. What kind of barbaric acts these savage beasts doing to our people? Sad, 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 beloved. Now, beloved, let me touch quickly, because I know the time of the essence. Beloved, the vaccine thing, that is not a vaccine. It's an emergency use authorization. It's not a vaccine. And you know that, my beloved brother. Oh, brother, this propaganda, you know where I stand when it comes to that. I'm not anti-vaccine. I mean, I'm not, beloved. But this nonsense that is peddling up here and is spreading throughout the world to talk about anti-vaxxers is the one who dying 90-something% and spreading things. It's a total lie, total propaganda, beloved. Ain't nothing terrible, so. Because people who take it to jobs, they are dying also, and they are spreading it also. Can't be one-sided. We must always tell the truth, beloved. So this propaganda that is spreading all over, it got to stop, man. And you know, it's full time it done it, this vaccine crap every day. We got better things to do as African people, man. Upliftment of our young people and make sure our elders be good, our children and our nation and our continent, beloved. But every day we get up at each other throat and this and that vaccine. Oh, job this and job that, man. Come on, man. Let's move on from this foolishness, beloved brother. Brother, thanks again for hearing me, Pan-Africanism and Parish. Well, love, my beloved brother.
All right. Facts are a stubborn thing. People entitled to their own opinion, not their own facts. Let's go back to the phone. Good morning, welcome.
Hello, I'd like to speak to Tony.
Go ahead, speak. Go ahead, speak up. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Hello, Mr. Nice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I heard what you're saying about that stuff happening in England.
Mm-hmm.
See, like I try to take people that are born in St. Kitts and compare it to America. In the French Caribbean islands, those people born there are citizens of France. Citizens. My sister children were born in St. Martin, and they're citizens of France.
Mm-hmm.
In America, you're born in St. Thomas in Puerto Rico. You're a citizen of the United States. Why CARICOM don't cut the ties with England? What we need England for? England don't do nothing to the Caribbean. All the people left went England in the 50s. I never want to go to England for that simple reason, because the British don't have no allegiance to the Caribbean islands. They don't give them nothing. So why CARICOM don't break the ties with them and don't play no cricket with them, don't have nothing to do with them? We don't need England in the Caribbean. We don't need them. Canada and United States do more for the Caribbean, British-speaking Caribbean islands than England. And it's time to the politicians didn't realize that. They got such allegiance to the Queen. The Queen is one of the richest women in the world. She never worked a day in her life. So why they don't, what they're doing to the Jamaicans, they're going to have to Kittians too. They're going to have to Antiguans. They're going to have the Trinidadians. It's just a matter of time. So I don't know why these CARICOM people don't cut their ties with England. They call Sinkers Police Royal Police Force. Royal what? Sinkers is an independent country. The police force should be Sinkers and Nevis Police Force. What are you using Royal for? Come on, man. Thank you, Mr. Nice.
All right, thank you. We're going back to the phones. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, just two quick things.
Yes.
One, I think you have to put a time span on persons when they call in, right? Because some people, stay too long and cut the time for other people. Taking into consideration we have a limited time. The other thing is, Nabo has to be fair with his calling out of the video. I saw a video where that's before they start throwing the tear gas, where they started stoning police. They were stoning police. Police was running, people was running. So I don't know if he just watch one video and come up with the thing and make a decision. But he got to be fair. He got to be across the board. Thank you. That's my call.
Thank you. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Brother Tony.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, Brother Tony, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes. Anyway, with the vaccination program, and I agree with my government, wherever part of the world, to force nobody to take the vaccine. I'm not agree with that, neither. But we're in a pandemic, and they say the vaccine, whatever. I only been thinking me this, Brother Tony. I only been Jamaica, I only been Barbados. And I know some people, if the party was in government, they would then go and take this vaccine, they make it political. And I do not think that because the party, you're going to go take it and make confusion and all those things. And remove yourself from a job. Why a poor man come, the children, say the children go to school, when that man working yet, and then you still want to go to your job because you want to take a vaccine, and nothing preventing you from taking the vaccine, you have a medical issue or nothing. Why that? Why poor people like that? Because ordinary people here, because the politics they want to take the vaccine, tell me why? Why? I said, I never did that. People consciously against the vaccine. You understand? That is their rights. And I have nothing, no expression or nothing with them because that's the way, because some people body allergic to medication.
All right, then, Tony, back a bit back. I got something to say. Can't be sure tomorrow somebody's got to do.
Okay. All right. Well, there are a couple of things there coming out of those calls there. As I always say, you know, people are free, and we allow people their free opinions. Yeah. As long as you're clean, your opinions are welcome. We're not all going to see things the same way. As to the matter in Antigua, a couple of things out of that, which seem to be the case, that the permit for the march in Antigua was applied for in accordance with the rules of law. Accordingly, the permit was denied. However, it is true that the timing of the denial is suspect. Just looking at the face of it, because if you apply for a permit some 17 days before the march, well within the time prescribed by law, and then you come back with a denial, what was it, 2 days before, but on a weekend, the law provides for an appeal of that decision. However, it would seem to me that if you come back with your response just 2 days before the match is expected to happen, then you just knocked out the appeal process, because you could appeal to the minister responsible for the police, and you can even go and get a review from the High Court. So if you come back on a weekend, 2 days before the Sunday, March is to be the Sunday, and you come back on the Friday with a decision, then there's no way for the applicant to use the appeal procedure. Just can't happen within that time, if they have to appeal to the minister the decision, and then have a chance to appeal to the High Court in order to get a decision to have a match done on the Sunday. That to me is suspect, based on the information provided so far. There may be other information there, but so far that's the information provided. And so I would agree that there are some concerns with that, you know. However, the permit was denied, and so that's the other side of the issue. So there was no permit because it was denied, albeit denied with not enough time, but it was denied. So we will see how that plays out. I am also concerned about what I saw, and if it is that people are attacking police, I am concerned. If it is that police are using excessive force, I am concerned. And then when you look at what happened in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, that raises concerns as well, because now you have people throwing rocks at the Prime Minister and, you know, hitting him in the head and all of that, and, you know, they gotta find a better way to deal with stuff. But that's it. We gotta act. So that's one. And I've laid out my position with respect to the vaccination and all of that, and I provided a news item, which is, people don't have to agree People could think that the news item is false, but that's it. All right, let's go for the phone. Good morning.
Brother Tony.
Yes, sir.
Brother, now we're here again. Brother, that individual, right? You know, I don't want to attack nobody unless they come at me. You know, could come at me what I said, but not personally. You know, I try to criminalize. But the only missile I was thrown at the police is the canister, the tear gas canister that a couple of people throw back at the police. Let that brother, right, put those video where he said about police, that civilian and a stone the police officers. Let he put it up. Because I watch, beloved. I watch over 20-something videos, beloved. And it's 3 set of people sent them to me. 2 brothers and a sister, beloved. I ain't none of them personally. But me and them get along real good, beloved. So, let that brother post them. You see, I don't want to give up my cell number, you know. I'm not afraid, but I ain't going to give up my cell number to the world. Otherwise, I will give him my cell number, my WhatsApp number, and let he send them picture that he said that people in a stone police. That's but I don't know. You know what people, when they come, they got to come right, regardless of what side you support. I'm not anti-police, no. We need real police, but what we don't need is savage beast masquerading as police, beloved. Beloved, thanks again for hearing me. Keep up the great work. Pan-Africanism our purse. One love, my beloved brother.
Okay, one love. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning, welcome. Good morning, caller, you're live. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, caller, you're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Tony, how are you?
I am well. You?
I'm doing great, Tony. I want to touch on your topic that you throw. This is Journey here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tony, after the Windrush scandal, after the war, they sent out a request to gather our people in the diaspora to come and help them rebuild. And today, we see what they're doing with Jamaicans in the UK. What they're doing, Tony, they are showing us their true colors. And we need to condemn them. We need to call them to their face as to who they are. Because when they were killing themselves by their own in the war, we are the ones that turn to help rebuild their destroyed country. And see how they're treating us today. And this is how they've been treating us. The High Commissioner of Jamaica is seeking reparation, and this is how they retaliate. And it's not just going to be Jamaicans alone. It's going to spread. Whether you want to say that these are Jamaican criminals who may have committed crime against the law, it's going to spread. Now, Tony, I want to bring to your attention the passing of our Pan-Africanist, Wanoko Rashidi, who passed in Cairo on the 2nd of this month. A brilliant man who has traveled to 125 countries and has discovered African presence in the 4 corners of the earth. Most of us may not know of him. I myself never know of him, Tony. But like I say, I am now learning my history, and I am unplugged from the misery of the colonizers. This man is a brilliant man. You go into most of the museum around the world, Tony, and 70 or 75% of the artifacts that are in the museum in the UK, in Europe, and America, 70% of these artifacts are Africans. Now, Wanoko Rashidi passed in Cairo on the 2nd of this month, and they're trying to get his body back to America. Tony, when we find out our history and get the knowledge of self, CNN, BBC, Fox News wouldn't be of any interest to us. I've mentioned before that social media can cripple those news platforms. And by that I mean, if I share something with you, Tony, concerning your people, your ancestors, and your history, and you share that with 50 people or 20 people, and that sharing continue, we can cripple these platforms. Because, Tony, right now they're trying everything at us to keep us plugged into their narrative, their misery. Today, the continent of Africa, we have children being vendors on the streets instead of getting their education. While Africa remains poor, the West would survive. Let me repeat that. While Africa remains poor, the West will survive. And for those of us who think that we are not Africans, China is now the Trojan horse on the continent and around the world. Our ancestors traveled to China. Tony, you can, if you go to YouTube and type in Wonoka Rashidi, the global journey of in search of African presence. Let me repeat that. The global journey in search of African presence by Wonoka Rashidi, Tony. You would see things, history, artifacts. And this guy have compiled videos, literature, books that you and I never know of him until his passing, Tony. He just surfaced on my Facebook wall. And I am learning so much from this guy pertaining to our ancestors and why. Even in Russia, he has been to Russia and discovered the Black Madonna and Child, the first Black Pope, and the Vatican have these things hidden, Tony. They have our history hidden. And today, they are throwing things out at us in movies, and we are not even picking up the clues. Tony, I'm going to finish now, Tony. I don't know if you saw the movie Avatar, the first Avatar. When the people came, the people of the air that they came unto where, in the movie, they came to where these people with the tails. And they destroyed that big tree and they wanted the minerals. That's what is happening. They have our history and they're playing it out in movies and we're not picking up. When we go to see a movie, we go to see a movie for entertainment. Tony, we have to change this. God didn't make the continent of Africa with all those raw materials for us to be poor. We need to get serious, Tony.
All right.
Thank you for hearing me.
Yep. Let's go to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Now, there is something called viral immune escape. If we notice that we have been vaccinating against the original SARS-2 2019 coronavirus. Now we have the Delta. In St. Kitts we have the Lumba. In Brazil is something else. In the US and wherever is something else. What we need to pay attention to is that in St. Kitts, before the mass vaccination started, we had maybe 3 or 4, maybe no more than 5, 10 cases. We had no deaths. We are being told to follow the science, and the science is saying that the vaccinated people are producing spike protein of the original 2019, which is now changing, it's mutating. The vaccinated people are actually the ones, if you were to follow all of the information, not those that we want to hear, we would find out that the people who's vaccinated, whose immune system has been compromised with a selective virus, they have not isolated the coronavirus itself that is causing these spreads or making people sick. They have put in us, or are trying to put in us, selective antibodies, which is now like the AstraZeneca that we gain. We should notice that now those vaccines are useless. I'm kind of saying a lot of things. Take Cuba. Cuban vaccines, stating from the reports from the Cuba doctors, are not from the original spike protein. The Cuban vaccines is made up of variants. What I am saying is that this globalist thing that the governments, the businesses and all other concerns have signed onto to depopularize the world, actually to experiment with us also to find out, because it's only now they're experimenting how this nanotechnology that they're putting into us is going to make Bill Gates and the other people live forever. It's not going to happen. We are dying from something that is caused by the vaccine. If the CDC states that I'm over 60, and my chance of surviving corona or any coronavirus is 99 point something percent, then it is saying 600 people in St. Kitts got corona and only 3 people dead. From March 2020 to March 2021,
Thank you.
2 million people. I'm done right now.
Yeah, you're going down
2
now.
million point something people died from corona.
All right, thank you.
You take from.
Let's go back to the next caller. Good morning, welcome. Go ahead, caller, you're live.
Mr. Nias.
Yes, good morning.
Mr. Nias, really the climate change report is out. And I believe you would pay some attention to this very important bit of information. Because what is said or what has been observed, finding, is that the climate over the years has been changing rapidly, alarmingly. And really and truly, we are here, we who look on the outside world through television or other means, see that the world is on fire. We look up in Europe, even in Russia, Siberia, you know that one of the coldest place on the earth, suffering from drought, and fire is now taking place there. In the United States, California, over 50, nearly 100 fires. And so it's important that we pay attention to this report that really is alarming and frightening. Mr. Nias, they said the ocean level is rising rapidly. And really, it seemed like it would get worse before it gets better. I am one who believes in Bible prophecy, and the disciples asked Jesus when he told them of signs like these which we are now witnessing. And of course, Christians today say, oh, they live by faith. Well, Jesus told them, when you see things like these, look up, watch and pray that you would be accounted worthy to escape all these things that are coming upon the face of the earth. I live by faith, but I am looking at the signs that Jesus said. And so, Mr. Nias, it is time with this pandemic and the confusion, the divisiveness that this pandemic has brought, apart from death, pain, and suffering. Look at the devices. Huh? Look at it. And so, really and truly, the way out, Mr. Nias, is to our Creator. God is our refuge and strength, a very present time in this troubled world. And I believe that as nations face this pandemic and people turning against their government in developed countries as well as less developed countries, it's time for a spiritual awakening and alert our people to lift up our eyes onto the hills from when our help cometh. Our help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. Thank you very much, Mr.
All right, let's get in another call here. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I am not good that our people went into different countries, especially under the colonial time, to find work because they had it hard. They had to go to England. They had to go to America. They had to go in the Virgin Islands and all kind of thing to find work because they had it hard. But Tony, them people who went up to England and all those people who build England and build a country, you understand? I don't agree with this greenwash thing that took up these people then pay the taxes and maybe then bill and all those things, bring the family there and contribute to the economy, contribute to whatever. I do not agree that they should just take a people because of whatsoever. Even if they country legally. They should be able to get some legal as long as they do and then they do long. If they catch them when they're coming in, then it's okay. But as long as they don't build family and got business there, that got their own business. How you going to come back on these people? You don't see you? They come to the caller. When they don't fight the war, or they don't do something to yourself, when they don't fight the war, it's the people that build back up the country, build up this and build up out of the monument. So can anyone here see at all? To the people, that's why we should go to, that's why we're here, in a black country, and we should go to live as one, come together, put the all political tribalism aside, every 5 years election will come, and try to build our country, not break down our country because of politics. And a lot of people here like that. When you look at your country getting this, right now people wishing the house to come, to mash up the country, because they're not supporting the government. And that is so ridiculous and, unfair.
Okay.
And ignorance. Okay, I'm telling you.
All right. I don't think that people are wishing for a hurricane here. Can't believe that. Let's take a final call. Go ahead, caller. Your final.
Good morning, man. How are you? Good morning. How are you?
Yes, go ahead. Quickly.
Yeah, man. I don't think the English government, they should be trying to deport those Jamaicans. The Caribbean leaders need to step up again and get back up in their faces. And, there should be mad protests going on right now in England, bro. I don't agree with that. They only need us to build up their country, but now, look at what they're trying to do us, man. All right, man, that's my contribution, man.
All right, and thank you for that contribution. And that's going to do it for us today. We may not want to believe everything we hear. I mean, we shouldn't believe everything we hear. But facts, as I said, are stubborn things. And whether you get it from one part of the world or another, that's something else. You may not want to believe the reports coming out of the U.S. with respect to the Delta variant and all of that, and the non-vaccinated and so on. We can go right here in the region to Tortola. They have been reeling under this thing. And a household had to bury 3 people from one household. And that household had a history of railing against the vaccination. Think about that. We'll be back tomorrow with much more. I'm Tony Nias. Have a great rest of the day.